Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. You can be doing anything right now, but you decided to tune in to Dad Talk on this Tuesday, so I really appreciate you for watching and choosing to be with me today for this edition of Dad Talk. Today we have a very special guest, but before I get into the guest, I want to tell you a little bit about why we do this Dad Talk thing, and hopefully you'll desire to share it with everybody else. Now, a couple of years ago, I wrote a book called From a Fatherless Father to His Sons. The book is here. It's available on Amazon and our website, therollcall.org. And what led me to write the book is I grew up without my father. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know I could have bumped into him in the street and not know who he was. And the ironic thing is that I grew up without my father, so I made a lot of mistakes growing up, searching about the meaning of manhood and what it meant to be a man. And here I am, raising three sons on my own, trying to teach them how to become a man. And I wrote that book particularly for my sons, because it's called From a Fatherless Father to His Sons. I don't want my kids having to learn the lessons that I learned growing up by trial and error. Now, I'm certain my kids will make certain mistakes because despite me teaching them, they're going to make stupid mistakes anyway. That's what it means to be a child or an adolescent. But my hope is that if they do choose to make those mistakes, they remember, okay, Dad taught me that this was wrong or this happened when he did it. So hopefully they'll use be wise and use my mistakes to learn from them. So I wrote this book for them. And from that, I started an organization called The Roll Call for Fatherhood and Mentoring. It's about responsibility, opportunity, leadership, and education. Our goal with The Roll Call is to encourage men, fathers, mentors to answer the roll call to fatherhood. That means if you're a father, we want to help equip you with everything that you need to be a better father. If you don't have a child or your children are grown and you feel like you want to mentor a fatherless child, we're here to equip you also. And we do this show to be an encouragement to fathers out there. There's a lot of new fathers and young dads, old dads, working fathers. So we need encouragement too. There's a lot of resources for women, single mothers, mothers, so on and so forth. But sometimes us men, we get together and we feel a little bit intimidated to talk about certain topics like manhood, fatherhood, the challenges that partakes in them. So that's why we do this show. That's why we do Dad Talk. So make sure you take this opportunity right now to share with your friends. Call somebody up and say Dad Talk is on. Share with them the link. And again, you could be doing anything right now, but you decided to watch this. So I really, really, really greatly appreciate you. All right. Today on Dad Talk, we have special guest Adam Won't Lose. Is it Adam Won't Lose Ali? I thank you so much for being with us today. I really
Thanks for
appreciate
having me, brother. Thank you.
it. Yeah. So again, Dad Talk is all about casual conversation between two dads, just talking it up. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and we'll just get right into it. All right.
Go for it.
First, how is it having Latoya as a baby mama? Let's get that out the way.
Um, Latoya is a phenomenal woman, and she's definitely put me in a position where I had to develop, certain characters to keep up with her, characteristics to keep up with her. Um, and I said it before, and I'll say it again. It's not a walk in the park being with Latoya, but that's what makes it worthwhile. That's what I think as a man, you need some sort of challenge, on a daily basis, just to keep things juicy and just to develop yourself. And she's a phenomenal woman for sure.
hmm I first the first video I ever saw of her was
Hmm.
the thing she did, things that Caribbean mothers say.
Yes, yes,
I thought
yes.
that was absolutely hilarious.
Mhm.
But I think I follow your her shows, and you're very active in her shows also. And one of the things that wanted me to bring you onto this Dad Talk and have a conversation with you is how you interact with her and how you interact with your baby. Now you're
Hmm.
a new father.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a daughter who's 3.5 months. She was born October 12th. Her name is Samia Ali. That's my bundle of joy. And it's an incredible feeling, to be
Mm.
honest. Every day it's an adventure with her, and it's like there's a milestone almost every day or every other day in her development. So it's amazing to be part of it. You know,
So
growing
tell
up,
me,
I never thought I'd be a father. You know, it's just like it seems so far fetched, and here I am, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
now is it true? One of the shows that I watched,
Mhm.
you found out that you were going to be a father through text message.
Actually, that is true. So what happened was we were in LA earlier last year in 2014. We moved to LA, and I had to go back to Toronto for a weekend. And I was in a conversation with my dad. I had to sit down with my dad, and my dad heard from the grapevine that I was dating someone because I never talked to my dad at that level. I don't have that relationship with him to
Mhm.
tell him, certain things. But anyway, he was telling me, so I heard that you're dating someone, you guys are in LA now, what's this all about? While my dad is telling me this, she's blowing up my phone, right? And I can't answer because I'm in this deep conversation with my dad and my brother. And she texts me saying, "Hey, I'm pregnant." And I was like in awe when that happened. It was mind blowing. And she was actually recording her calling me. So then she called me right after, and it was all caught on camera. And yeah, it turns out she was two and a half months pregnant, and yeah, it just caught me off guard, and it was all caught on camera.
Wait, so you're sitting with your father, who you don't really talk to like that. He's
At that
asking.
level, I don't talk to my dad.
Yeah.
Me and my dad, it's more like he just comes to me to vent and about family issues. But
Mhm.
I don't really tell him my issues for some reason. I don't have that relationship with him.
Mm. So but during that conversation, he was talking about you having a girlfriend, or he heard that you had a girlfriend.
Which he did not like the idea. He's like, there's a right way of doing things. You can't live with a woman without being, married and this and that. And he's giving me that conversation. The moment we're in the midst of that whole entire conversation, I get this text that's like, and I'm just looking at my dad, and of course, I can't tell him, hey, dad, by the way,
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Did you tell
I
him at
could
that
not
moment?
tell him that, you know. Actually, the very next day, I left, and forward, about 4 or 5, no, about 2 months later, we come back. No, actually, we came back a month later, and I told him, "Hey, man, I didn't want him not to believe me by saying the very moment you were telling me that I got a text. So I just told him the very next day I learned this was happening. It was just ironic.
Mhm. But so
Yeah.
what was
Mhm.
so you're on the phone with her at this point. You couldn't react the way you wanted to react with your
I
father.
was like, I kept a straight face. Yeah,
I
I
bet you
just
that was
told
one
him,
of the hardest
excuse
things you
me.
had.
And I went to another room and I was talking. I'm like, I was just in awe and I couldn't even say much.
Mhm.
Most people would be like, oh my God, that's amazing. But I was just shocked because I was in the midst of a conversation about this. This is what my dad was trying to prevent, right? A little bit too late.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So now she's pregnant, and you hear this. Like, when did it really sink in that you were going to be a father?
Um, oh, that very moment. I mean, that drive back from my dad, it was just like, wow, it just hit me then. And then it was a story again because I was trying now to fly back, and the U.S. Customs didn't want me to come back into the country. And I'm like, hey, listen, I don't want to stay here. I'm just trying to go get my lady so we can come back. My car's over there, and they were hassling me. But eventually they let me in. They held me for like hours, and when it was just a relief to finally come back to where we live and where we're from, and yeah, we made it happen.
Hmm. Wow. And so now you have the baby. Well, let's talk about the delivery. Okay.
Mm.
Um, what what was you feeling? Were you nervous? Were you scared?
Did you see the delivery video?
No, I didn't get a chance to see that.
Okay. That's actually probably it is the most popular video on her reality show
Okay.
channel. So you should check it out. But yeah, in the delivery room, I had already made my mind that, you know, I didn't want to actually see the baby come out, but I would be right next to her at all times. And I think what helped me was just preparing mentally weeks and months before getting in there. You know, I just imagined, being the man to be that man, the man that I need to be in that room to her. And when it came to that moment, I just did it. I was there for her. She had her aunt there too, and you know,
Aunt
it was
Jillian?
it was a great experience.
Yeah. So, what was your reaction when you first saw her?
Oh, it was like so surreal. It was so surreal. Um, it's an experience you can't really explain. It's just like time stops, and that's when you realize it's like how powerful your creator is, and it's a phenomenal experience. It was just I was in awe, and I knew that I had to roll my sleeves and be there for someone now. It wasn't about me anymore. It wasn't about her anymore. It was about us.
Yeah. I think I remember when all three of my sons were
Hmm.
born, and being there, the the feeling of joy first seeing them. Well, first the feeling that I had of joy when I first found out. I'm divorced, but when my ex-wife told me each time that she was having a baby, it was like one of those, man, like I'm a father again,
Hmm.
and it's one of those things that for me was indescribable. I couldn't really describe how I felt, but it was an immense level of joy,
Hmm.
and but the level was just unspeakable. And each time I was in the labor and delivery room with my kids, it was like a brand new experience
Hmm.
being there. And unlike you, I watched all of them come out. Like I had to see it. Like I'm the type that
Hmm.
I'm very visual, and I like to see things happening. And two, I want to make sure the doctor doing what they're supposed to be doing. Like
Hmm.
I'm gonna handle my baby correctly. But that's like one of those things that I remember having just so much joy. And it was like as soon as I found out that she was pregnant, I loved the child right away. Like I felt like I connected with the baby right away.
Hmm.
When did you find you truly connected with your daughter?
Sorry, the moment I felt connected to my
That,
daughter?
yeah, that you really connected with her. Wait, hold on 1 second.
Yes,
Let
yes.
me introduce you to my middle son,
Okay.
Nathaniel.
Hello.
Nathaniel, hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All right.
Great.
Here,
Nice to
here, come
meet
here,
you.
Gabriel. You got
Yeah.
to And this is Gabriel, my youngest,
Hey,
Hello.
Gabriel. Hey.
12 and 7.
I'm his favorite.
No, I'm not. No, you're not. I am. See, I'm the only one at the camera right now. That's why it's not showing, because I'm the, because I'm
You should
the
all buy my
best.
dad's book,
Not just that.
and if
He
you got
he
it, then
tried
buy it again.
I will do
one
that.
thing. He tried to put this thing together so you guys could talk about stuff stuff I don't know about.
Yeah, you should know
That's
about
why
some
I
shit.
can't
All
go
right, guys,
on
enough.
broadcast.
Go.
We'll
And
learn all about it.
it says it may say Andre Harrison, Andre D. Harrison on the if you want to visit
Okay,
his
can we finish
website,
this?
if you want to visit
Can we
his
finish this?
on the rollcall.com
Org. If you're gonna give him the
dot
website, give him the right one. Get out of here.
org.
All right,
Go
guys,
it
guys,
on
guys, come
right
on, come on, come
now.
on. Go,
His
go.
name is Dwight.
All right,
Thank you.
guys.
His name's Dwight.
Have a good one.
All right.
Okay.
So back to the conversation. Thank you, guys, punks. When did you feel you really connected with her, with your daughter?
Um, when I first heard her cry, Latoya accidentally, I don't know if her nail scratched the baby like moments after she came. It was very accidental. Um, and I could feel the pain, and that's when I knew, oh my God, like It's like, what you, I was like, what are you doing? And I felt the pain of my baby. So it
Wow.
was quite instantly. It was quite instantly.
hmm If you can
Mm.
imagine the type of relationship that you're going to have with your daughter maybe 10 years from now, how would it be?
Ideally, I want to. I mean, I would love for her to just be open with me and we can converse, and she wants to, just hang out and just kick it, play sports, take some, just shoot some hoops, um, just that line of communication being there.
hmm Now, do you feel a sense of pressure being the father of a daughter?
Um, no, not yet, at least.
So you don't have that T-shirt that says, um, "I have a motive, a shovel, and a
No,
shotgun."
no, 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 no.
No.
I
Wait,
feel
what's it
like
called?
my character will shape her to be someone who demands respect.
Mm, mm,
So I'm not really worried about her being, let's say the word extremely curious.
mhm.
I feel like she will demand respect.
Yeah, I think of statistically, fathers who are very involved, especially at a young age, with their daughters tend to do better in life, socially, economically, educationally. Statistically, they go on to graduate college, have better
Mhm.
careers, and even have a strong sense of self-esteem and self-worth. Is that something that you really want to instill in your daughter?
Absolutely. I mean, I was having a conversation with Latoya, her uncle, and without sounding like a pervert or anything nasty or left field, I said that I feel like it's so important to date your daughter and really set the standard so high that if something iffy ever comes around, she just knows how to detect that. So it's really showing her what a man looks like or what a man should do. And I told her I'm going to be taking my daughter out to to be exposed to different things in life. And obviously it's not, I'll never say we're dating or we're going on a date, but really set the standard so high where if anything outlandish appears, she just knows to stop that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Well, it's like should be able to expose the counterfeits. Like people at a bank, they work with money, and if they
Mm,
come across a counterfeit, they know the counterfeit because they've worked with money and they spend time with the money. They know it, and I
yes.
think that you dating your daughter is a good thing. And I don't know why people would take that kind of phrase and go way left with it.
Hmm.
In my opinion, I think a daughter's first love should be a father. If he's doing exactly what he should be doing as a dad, she should love him and admire him and would desire to be with somebody like her father one day. A
Hmm.
couple of years ago, I did this thing called Raise a Standard, where we took young girls who didn't have fathers. Me and two other of my friends. One's a correction officer, the other one was a student, a college student, and we took a couple of middle school and high school girls that we knew. They were like very close friends of ours or relatives, and we knew they didn't have fathers, so we took them out. We got limos, got them roses, took them out to dinner. We took them to a play in Manhattan. It was very nice, very sweet. And our motive behind it was to show them what they should expect from a guy. And I think if a father's not teaching their daughters that, then they're maybe willing to accept anything that a guy throws at them, especially if the father's not giving them the attention that they need growing up. So I think that you doing that is a good thing. A good thing. Have you like received any, I guess, opposition from that idea?
Um, no, not at all. Not at all. I
Mhm.
mean, I was speaking to this gentleman who has a daughter, and he was so happy that his daughter recently just got engaged. And he actually told me, he's like, man, I'm so proud of who she's become, and she's brought home a phenomenal man. And he looked at me, he's like, you know what? I was very close to her, and I really set the standard for her, and it's an amazing. I'm so proud of her.
Mhm.
So he really gave me that nugget, and I ran with it, and I'm like, yeah, that this is something that should be done.
Mhm. Is it so? He's sort of like a mentor to you.
Um, we're not that close, but
Hmm.
like whenever I see him, we do have some very intellectual conversation. I mean, I even look at my sister. My sister, my dad was just very stern, and no, everyone was always. It felt with my dad, you had to prepare what you were going to say, and also be prepared to respond to every possible answer that he would say. You could never just have a free dialogue with him, right? And everyone was always fearful of speaking to him. And my sister, all of us don't really have that. Well, my brother probably does now, but we never really had that open dialogue with him. And I want to be able to have that open
Hmm.
dialogue with my daughter.
I think
With,
that fosters trust. You want them to trust you and be there for you. And I
Mhm,
think both you guys have a amazing head on your shoulders, good, great ethics, and you guys, I guess, build your life to motivate others. So I think your daughter has something high to reach for, and you keep it up. Like she's going to go even further. When you she's now 3.5 months, so she's at the age now where she can begin to recognize, and she's at that cooing stage, right?
the what stage? Sorry.
The cooing where uh she's cooing, she's like making noises and begin
Yes,
to hear.
yes,
So
yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
and smiling now and able to see you and get happy when she sees you.
It was amazing last night. She was laying down right next to her mother, and I came and laid right beside her. And then she started looking both ways, and she was just smiling. And I just looked at her, I was like, "This is a blessing. Both parents are here." And I was telling her story, and she was just smiling.
Hmm. I think that's a beautiful thing. Now, you do a lot. How do you balance your family life with what you do with work
Hmm.
and everything else? Like, what do you do to that could probably help somebody that's watching
Hmm.
balance their family and their work life, especially as a new dad? Because I think
Hmm.
some new fathers feel the pressure. Okay, now I need to go out and provide, and I may not be here all the time,
Hmm.
so you're gonna have to understand that I won't be here because I got to provide for the baby that I have. So how do
Right.
you keep that balance?
Well, this is a huge conversation. Well,
Mhm.
you know, I'm a strong believer between separating being busy and productive, right? So that's one thing, and I I make sure whatever I do converts. I don't care about being busy anymore. It's all about what converts. It's about what's being as productive as possible. I mean, before I used to juggle like 4 or 5 different jobs at the same time, and yes, I was extremely busy, and but I wasn't mastering anything. I was just juggling. So
Mm,
I started being focused. I like to use the term laser focus, and on things that I could master and do really well at. And that's what I've been focusing on lately. Well, for the last year or two, and that's what's been producing. So I just been mastering things and just focusing on that, and that's what is converting. I'm no longer just busy. I'm being productive in things that I want to master, on things that convert. Also, I'm a strong believer in systems, automating things, and what I mean by that is like before, I used to be really into training, one-on-one training, and I would go to people and train them, but I realized in order for me to make X amount it took lots of hours to make X amount. And what I mean by that is I would have to drive there, train that person, and then drive back. So I'm not getting paid to drive there, and I'm not getting paid to drive back. So I'm taking about 3 hours to get paid for an hour, because usually I spend an hour. So I thought about, okay, how can I automate this whole process and save me time and hours? I mean, save me time and money. And I said, you know what? I'm no longer going to be hands on. And I'm just going to automate this by allowing to have online training. So people go to my website now. and they can purchase programs, video programs, and now I'm no longer there. And now I'm all about automating things and creating systems that work for me.
Mm.
I
That
feel like if I always have to be, and no disrespect for people who who are trainers, but or any type of livelihood, but for me, I just feel like if I always constantly have to be there to make X amount, I'll always be capped. So I'm gonna do my best to always automate things and create systems that work for me, and that's what it's all about for me. That's what works for me.
Mhm. Well, and that what that allows you to do is because you're not as busy, but you're more productive. You have now to spend even more productive time with your family.
Exactly. I mean, now I would say 80% of the time I'm at home, whereas before I was never home. I would leave like maybe 7 a.m. and I won't be back till 11 p.m. And again, when I started automating things, creating programs and creating products that make me money, automatically, because it just exists online. It's just residual income, and now I can be around for my daughter. I can be around in the house and help, and I make way more money than I ever did, working hard. It's all about being productive.
Mhm. Mhm. Is that something that you plan on teaching your daughter?
For sure, it's a business. Being business savvy for sure is a way of life.
Hmm.
You know, I you know what when I came into the fitness game, one of my popular videos that went viral is called Dear Hard Work. And I was all about just going hard, and just working hard, which is still very important. But it's all about how smart you work. Hard work counts, but it's smart work converts even better than hard work.
Mm. Being smart. I get that. Now, you're into fitness and you're a trainer. Um, let's say like let me take me for example.
Right.
Um, a when my second son was born, or when my ex-wife was pregnant with my second son, we had a conversation, and she said she's going to get fat, and she was all upset about her getting fat, and I told her, you know what, I'll get fat with you. So whenever she ate, I ate, and I got into a really bad habit of sitting down with a
Mm,
pack of Oreos and a tall glass of warm milk and just like eating the whole pack in one sitting. So I started gaining weight. She had Nathaniel, all right?
mhm,
Now my ex-wife is like Princess Flocka. She's like, this, all right?
mhm,
Her weight dropped within a month. She was back to normal. And here I am, still gaining weight, still
mhm,
gaining weight. And part of the problem was um, I would want to do things. I want to go play ball or go to the gym. I just
mhm,
didn't have the time to because she needed me home, right? So I was, just I kept gaining weight, and it got to the point where I was like, over 230 and just not happy with the way I looked, not happy with my health,
mhm,
and actually after the separation, that's when I got to myself and I said, you know what, I need to get my quote unquote sexy back, right? So I got into the gym and I started developing more healthy habits, eating, not snacking, things like that. And I was able to, drop the weight and try to maintain a healthier lifestyle. But for some fathers, that's a challenge because they feel the I guess the not, I guess I would say strain to have to be there for their child. So when they have a child, they tend to neglect the things that would make them uh, remain healthy. So if
mhm.
you can give us maybe 3 to 5 things that a father can do to be a great father and still maintain their health, what would they be?
Uh, with first health and fitness, it's a lifestyle. It's not something you just do, a couple of times and you just let go. You really got to integrate it into your lifestyle. But again, yes, it's a lifestyle, but in order to adopt a lifestyle, your cycle, the right mind frame has to be there, and that's something that comes within. And it's a psychological game in maintaining your health because you really got to understand what is your why. A lot of people want to lose weight, but their why isn't big enough. And I would train people, and I would ask them, okay, so why do you want to lose this weight? Oh, I just want to look sexy. And then I would ask them why. I just want to feel great. Okay, but why? And a lot of people could not answer that. And because their why isn't important, they would never follow right through, right? And you have to really figure out, is this why, how much of a priority is it to you? You're saying you want to feel good, but is how high of a priority is that for you? So, are you feeling good should be for everybody. Everybody wants to feel good, right? And you should, but it's a lot of people that's not as important as they say it should be. And you really got to figure out what is your why. And once you understand what is your why, that will motivate you and that will keep you on track. So, for example, talking about money again, everybody wants to make money, but why? And some people say, I want to support. But when you start realizing that, you know what, putting food in my family on the table is of high priority to me, and I'm going to do it by any means necessary, that becomes the driving force. That is your why. It's not about making money anymore. It's about putting food on the table. That way you can continue your livelihood, and that becomes the driving force. So you got to really understand what is your why. We can talk about here, about things. The thing about North America and just the whole world, everybody's looking for quick fixes. They're looking for quick ways to get motivated. But what's more important is forming a habit. Once you form a habit, you don't need motivation anymore. It becomes consistent. It's part of your lifestyle. It's integrated. It's locked. It's who you are now. And it's all about forming that habit, and you form that habit by understanding your why. Your why has to be big enough to be your driving force.
So you
Uh,
covered a couple of things there. You said so the why is pretty much like the motive. Like why is it that you wanted to get in shape,
mhm.
I guess. And then you talked
I
about
mean, you can mention, a lot of people will mention why, what their whys are, but it's still not big enough for them. They're not willing to, allow it to be as, their driving force. Yeah, I want to feel good, but it doesn't really mean much to them until, your why makes you cry, then you will charge forward. If your why doesn't make you cry, you won't get it.
so like a sort of like a sense of desperation.
Borderline. It
Okay.
should be where it's like, man, this must happen. This is of key interest to me. This is very close to my heart.
Okay.
And lastly, I usually tell people, again, you're going to spend a lot of time in your body, and you got to make sure it's a great home for you. What are you without your health? Your health is your number one asset. And once you realize that, I mean, you just live life to your best potential. If your health is not there, it's just hard to live to your best potential.
Mm.
It's in your best interest to really analyze, the importance of having a phenomenal body that works for you so you can be more productive.
Mm.
It's all about conversion for me. So once your mindset is there, once your health is there, man, things just go up from there.
How do you think that affects children? How your health, how the parents' health, or you as a father, how would your health affect your child?
Um, I mean, I don't mind, playing with my baby, holding my baby. It's just full of joy. There's never it's like, oh my God, I really gotta hold this baby right now. It's just automated. I don't feel sluggish. I just feel entertained. It's fun. It's I have vibrancy, and I'm a strong believer of energy, and I hope that my energy and our vibrancy in the family will transfer to her. That we don't really sit too much on the couch. We're always moving, and it's I know she'll be very active because we're always on the move.
Mm. Now we're gonna close in a minute, but
Yes.
I can't close without talking about this.
Yes,
You're a
sir.
sports fan, right?
Yes, I am.
And did you see the Super Bowl on Sunday?
I did. I had a Super Bowl party.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I did see a little bit of the clip that Latoya posted.
Hmm.
Now, um, there was a pretty good game.
It
You
was
know,
a phenomenal game.
great game. What did you think of the last play?
I was going with Seattle.
Hmm.
I really felt bad for Russell.
Yeah.
He's a true competitor, very professional, very humble, and it really hurt me that now he has to live with that. Hopefully, he has a strong supporting cast that just uplifts him. And at the end of the day, it's for entertainment. It was a great game. I wish he didn't throw the ball, and I know he wished he didn't throw the ball. But regardless, he's a phenomenal athlete, and I just hope he doesn't live with that burden, you know,
Mhm. Yeah.
beyond
I was.
this
It,
week.
it was a toss up for me. My son likes the Patriots because his mother likes the Patriots. I'm
Hmm.
a Giants fan. Been a Giants fan. I'm like everything New York. I'm a fan of.
That's what's up.
Um, but I think it was very disappointing, and I
Hmm.
feel for the team because the win was in their hands. Like all they had to do was just get over that 2 yards, and the win was theirs. And I feel for them. I feel really bad for them. I'm not a fan of either team,
Hmm.
but um, but yeah. But I do want to thank you so much for joining us today at Dad Talk, and my hope is that what you said today would motivate and encourage some father watching this, whether they're watching it live right now or
Hmm.
whether they go back to the YouTube page and watch again. I really appreciate you being here. If you can say something that would encourage a father listening to you right now, what would it be?
Um, live, focus on now, and capture the moment. It's as the provider was, usually the man is the provider, and you feel like your mind's just racing. You're worried about putting food on the table, and that's what you're focused on. You tend to sometimes forget to just be there and witness you know the joy in front of you. So it's capture the moments and just be in the present, be here, be now. And it's all about the memories. It's making a memorable one, and yeah, cherish the moments. And that's been hard for me because I've always been like, yo, let's make it happen, let's get it, let's go. And now that I have a child, my daughter, it's like I really want to be there for every smile. And of course I gotta provide, but I'm there. I have to tell myself, let's live here right now, let's be here with her right now. And yeah, that's what I want to really say. Just be here.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most important things about leaving a legacy, a strong legacy, not just a financial, but
Yes.
of everything that would a legacy would entail, anything that you can pass on to your kids. I think that that's
Mhm.
a very important thing to do, to live in the here, the now, and capture every moment. The time,
You
children
know,
equate.
I'm only 3 months in, and I'm sure as you know time goes by, I will develop more wisdom around being a father. And at this stage, this is my wisdom at the 3 month mark. God willing, 3 years, 30 years from now, I'll have exceptional, fatherly advice that I can give to other fathers. But this is where I'm at, in the timeline of being a father.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing
Mhm.
both you and Latoya progress as parents, you progress as a father. I think that even some of the guys watching it would be encouraged by the way you're interacting with your little girl. I for one always wanted to have a daughter, haven't had one yet.
Mhm.
Still waiting for that opportunity to come, and I even started writing a book for her, so that when she does come,
Wow.
she's ready to go. But I may have to release it before she's born because I'm
Mhm.
not sure when it's going to happen. But I have so much respect for you as a man, as a father. I appreciate um, what you're about and the lesson that you give off in your videos. And but I got to be honest, um, one of the things I really want to happen with you is, especially since you're, sort of like out there and the public is able to see you, that your example of fatherhood would encourage young men all over.
Mhm.
I think fatherlessness is an epidemic that is swept under the rug. Single motherhood, and I was raised by my mother and my grandmother without a man, and I know the strength that women have in them to raise a child on their own. But um, you being there and is vital because it helps eradicate fatherlessness. It helps eradicate the very problem that has a negative effect in many communities, not just in America, not just in Canada, but all around the world. And again, I respect you so much. Thank you for joining me today on Dad Talk. And
Your work is of vital itself, and interesting enough, in Latoya's season 1 of her vlogs, um, I started something called the Men's Relief Club within her vlogs. I don't know if you ever seen it.
I
And
actually know I saw a couple today, actually.
oh, okay. And yeah, I had the same idea where I wanted to communicate with the fellas, um, but it was short-lived because it's a female platform and it wasn't the greatest platform to have that dialogue. Um, and it was great that you reached out to me because yes, this I do believe in being the forefront in at least establishing a platform for fathers
Mhm.
and just male in general to have this sort of dialogue. It is very important. And yeah, we definitely need to communicate to be the best um, fathers possible to our kids.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, thank you so much. We'll stay in touch. Hit you up an email and stuff, and yeah, hopefully I can have you on again in the near future.
Yes, pleasure. Thanks so much for having me. God bless.
All right, God bless. And I
Okay.
thank you everyone for watching. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/answering the roll call. You can hit us up on Facebook by going to facebook.com/the roll call. Hit Twitter. We have Twitter. You can hit us up at twitter.com/I play my role. And again, this is Andre D. Harrison. I'm the director of the roll call, the author of From a Fatherless Father to a Son. You just watched Dad Talk, and we will be meeting again February 17th, I believe it is, February 17th. And I believe I'll be airing live from Los Angeles. So guys make sure to tune in. I have an opportunity to be a presenter at a fatherhood conference in Los Angeles, my first time there, and there's a possibility of me bringing my boys. So I plan on having a great time and a great experience. So thank you so much for watching. God bless. We're out.